Together, we're going to answer the big question. Is a C8 Corvette truly a daily driver? Now, the answer to that question really just depends on how hardcore you are. So I'm going to let you decide for yourself, is the Corvette really a daily driver? Or for similar money, would it make more sense to just simply buy two cars, like a Toyota GR86 as your toy and a Toyota Camry as your daily driver? Nah, don't do that. Now, the first thing you need to know about the Corvette is she's not really a morning person. She's always a bit grumpy and loud when she first wakes up. And my neighbors have a newborn baby, so that means I always have to start the car with the garage door closed. Rise and shine, sweetheart. Time to wake up. Oh, yeah. She's definitely a little bit grumpy. I don't know how well you can hear me right now, but I'm gonna hop inside before I catch carbon monoxide poison. Now, the good thing is, after about 20 seconds, she settles down and turns into a big teddy bear. Now, one last thing before we get on the road, I have a little surprise for you guys. Wait for it, wait for it. Hopefully that won't trigger anybody in law enforcement. Now, one of my closest friends, who's an actual cop, informed me that the police will no longer pull you over for not having a front license plate in the state of Virginia. However, there is a catch. You can still get a ticket for it if they pull you over for something else, like speeding. Okay, that's enough. I don't want to poke the bear. And to all you fine people in law enforcement, I can assure you that no traffic laws were broken in the making of this video. Well, you know what I mean. Cut! Now, getting back to this car as a daily driver, I would recommend that you splurge a little bit and get the 2LT package, because that gives you luxury items on the interior and safety equipment that makes this car easier to live with as a daily driver. For instance, for about $7,000, the 2LT package adds a heated steering wheel, as well as heated and cooled seats to keep your bottom warm in the winter and cool in the summer. You also get a wireless cell phone charger, a heads-up display, premium bucket seats with memory and driver-side lumbar control, front and rear HD cameras, built-in GPS navigation system, an upgraded 640-watt Bose sound system with, count 'em, 14 speakers, and the list goes on. But the nose lift is extra. That's about an additional $2,200. It does come in handy, however, because the front nose is low and long. Now, the driving experience in this car is truly exceptional. It not only rides good for a sports car, it rides good for any car, in my opinion. Now, right now I'm in tour mode, and I would say the ride is about as smooth as your typical compact sedan. Now, for me, it might be a little bit too soft because over certain bumps, it kind of seesaws back and forth. So for me, a better compromise is sport mode, which tightens things up a bit and deals with those bumps all in one motion. Now, track mode, of course, as you would imagine, is a little bit too stiff and too aggressive. So that's probably best reserved for, as you can imagine, the track. Now, getting in and out of the car requires a bit more effort than the average vehicle, but I still consider it reasonable. And at my age, I'm still athletic enough to get in and out of the car without losing my dignity. Now, the seats are fairly comfortable once you're in them, but they are kind of snug. I mean, I'm not the biggest dude in the world, but I just barely fit in these seats, even with the side bolsters open to their widest setting. Speaking of getting in and out of the car, I'm gonna pull over real quick and get some gas and then talk about fuel economy. Now, I'm averaging about 20 miles per gallon, but I do drive pretty conservatively, so I think the typical C8 owner will probably average around 18 miles per gallon. The official numbers are 16 miles per gallon city and 24 highway, and that sounds about right. But I think the highway mileage might be actually a bit better than that, because when you're riding at a steady speed, the cylinder deactivation kicks in and the car runs on 4 cylinders. Personally, I've been getting about 29 miles per gallon. Now, there are a few more issues with this car that you need to know about if you're going to live with it every day. One, there's a lot of road noise from the big tires. But there's really no way around that. Whenever you fit big ginormous tires to a car, that's something you're just gonna have to learn to live with. Another thing, visibility out of the rear of the car isn't the greatest. There are a few blind spots. But the car does have the option of a blind spot detection system as part of that 2LT package that I was telling you about earlier. Or you can add some spot mirrors like I did. They don't look that great, but definitely improve safety. The rear view mirror on the inside of the car is basically useless because of that big rear wing. Now, another good thing about the 2LT package is it comes with a rear-facing camera. But the only problem is the rear view mirror makes you cross-eyed when you first look at it. Now, I have discovered if you blink first before you look at it, that kind of helps a little bit. And my coworker claims that you get used to it over time, but I still haven't yet. Now, one good thing about the Corvette's new mid-engine design means that you have two trunks, one in the front, one in the rear. So this is a good time for me to stop and get a couple of groceries. Get some ice cream. Got a pack of chicken. Now, one thing to make note of, the trunk at the rear gets a little warm sometimes because it sits right behind the engine. So if you have temperature sensitive food, you might want to put it in the front trunk. One time I measured the temperature in there and it was well over 100 degrees. Okay, let's check on my groceries. Looks like my ice cream turned into a milkshake. All right, now I'll check on the chicken. What the? It cooked it. It fried my chicken. The two trunks combined offer about 12.5 cubic feet of trunk space. The trunk at the front can accommodate a small suitcase. Now, Chevy claims the rear trunk is big enough to hold a set of golf clubs. Let's find out. Promises made, promises kept. But enough with the boring stuff. What really makes this car a great daily driver is that engine. But most of the time you can't even really hear it unless you put your foot into it. Like that. But one way you can hear it much more clearly is with this magic button right here. That button puts the top down. Nothing unlocks the fun factor of this Corvette more so than having the roof off. You have 100 million light years of headroom, and like I said before, you can hear that engine much more clearly. This with supercar looks and performance for the cost of a Chevy, the running cost of a Chevy, and the durability of a Chevy.
What? How did you do that?
So there you have it. Is the Corvette really a daily driver? You tell me. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next video.